Hello and welcome to a special edition of Northwestern News Report. I'm Yousef Nasser. Big news this week as the U.S. has passed a grim milestone. There have been over 1 million cases of COVID-19 with over 65,000 deaths. In today's show, we'll take you on an essential road trip across the country to see what's different about our nation's highways. We'll also meet a gym owner in Connecticut who's taking his business online to help clients stay in shape during the pandemic. But first, we start with a teacher in Virginia who's using his time away from school to help health workers on the front line. The hum of 3D printers echoes in Carlos Castro's basement. Castro is a technical education teacher at Woodbridge Senior High School, a teacher with no classroom to teach in.
Today, I am directing all schools in Virginia to remain closed at least through the end of this academic year.
On March 23rd, Governor Ralph Northam ordered the statewide closure of Virginia public schools. In the months since, Castro has been determined to use his newfound free time to lend a hand to a community in need.
When this whole pandemic began, some of the early stories came out that there is actual shortages in supply chains for some of the most basic medical necessities. When you're stuck at home, you start processing, well, how was that possible? How are they going to be able to do their job without having what they need?
Castro got to work. He found a mask template online and created it using his personal 3D printer. He began sharing pictures of his prototypes on social media and pitched his idea to use 3D printers to create masks for people who need them most. It was a hit. On April 3rd, Castro launched a GoFundMe page called 3D Printing PPE. His initial goal was to raise $3,000. To date, he's raised more than $6,000 in donations, money that is used to fund production of the masks. Castro estimates that each mask takes about 5 hours to make. Castro now has a dozen printers at his disposal, enough to produce more than 500 masks in the past month. The masks are donated to essential workers across Prince William County, including those in the medical field. Once the pandemic is over, Castro says he plans to donate the remaining money he's raised back to the school.
It's been an amazing ride so far that there's so much need to begin with, it's just disheartening, but there's so many people out there in the community wanting to help out in some fashion, stuck from their own homes, that it's been like riding a wave right now.
While non-essential businesses in the state of Virginia are still under a shutdown order, the stay-at-home order in Texas has expired. How will businesses respond? We went to Texas to find out.
Joshua Skinner here in an empty parking lot in Grapevine, Texas, where, like most of the country, all non-essential businesses are closed. But in the state of Texas, that's about to change. Starting May 1st, the state's stay-at-home order will expire, which will allow places like restaurants or movie theaters, like the one behind me, to open. When the clock strikes midnight on May 1st, Texas businesses will officially begin the first stage of opening the economy.
My executive order to stay at home that was issued last month is set to expire on April the 30th. That executive order has done its job to slow the growth of COVID-19, and I will let it expire as scheduled.
That order applies to restaurants, retail stores, movie theaters, museums, and libraries, although no hands-on exhibits are allowed.
It's time to set a new course, a course that responsibly opens up business in Texas.
But what's responsible is debatable. Local establishments such as Alamo Drafthouse Cinemas and Heim Barbecue have elected to stay closed for financial or safety concerns. But letting the stay-at-home order expire does not affect all businesses. Places like gyms, salons, and barbershops are required to stay closed. And not everyone's happy about that.
I'm blown away by his order. And quite frankly, I didn't expect him to just open up all salons, but what he chose to allow to be opened and what he didn't is so politically motivated, it's disgusting.
Ian Katz owns the popular Youth in Lashes in Hurst, Texas. He disagrees with the reasoning behind what can and cannot open.
Nobody will convince me that a movie theater cleaned up by a high school kid is going to be cleaner than our salon. You can't tell me that it's safer to go to Home Depot than it is to go to a salon.
The state of Texas has the option to reevaluate their decision on May 18th when they can up the occupancy allowed inside businesses, keep it the same, or even backtrack if the health situation gets worse. From Grapevine, Texas, I'm Joshua Skinner, Medill Reports.
While some businesses are in the process of opening back up again, For others, like universities, the economic damage has already been done.
I'm Allegra Zamor reporting from Old Lyme, Connecticut. The coronavirus pandemic is leaving administrators with tough decisions and college seniors without the chance to do this.
Administrators are exhausted.
I have never worked so hard in my life. I have never had so many sleepless nights.
Seniors are in disbelief.
The first thing that went through my head when I first found out that other schools were going to be canceling was like, no way, this will be us.
Students and educators everywhere are getting creative with an empty campus.
It's so incredibly weird. No one is around and everything just feels so dead.
While Shenandoah University was able to refund room and board for the remainder of the school year, they, like many other institutions, are not offering a break on tuition.
Most students, when they really stop to think about it, will understand that. And then those same students, if you fired their favorite professor, would be really up in arms about it. Your tuition was paying for them.
Fitzsimmons says while it's certainly not fair to 2020 graduating seniors, this is an opportunity for growth.
There's a good chance that this is not the darkest day of your life. What you get out of this will prepare you for whatever is going to come later in your life.
Mansfield and his roommates are doing just that.
We've been kind of getting a little bit of a taste of what life might be like post-grad, or making our own meals and shopping and doing some real people things.
As president, Fitzsimmons has to lead by example while also learning along with everyone else.
You have to exude confidence. You have to be able to inspire others, but you can't pretend you know more than you do. And the reality is there's a lot of stuff we don't know.
As of right now, Shenandoah University has yet to make a decision on the fall semester, but Fitzsimmons and her team are monitoring the pandemic closely in order to make the best decision for the students and faculty. In Old Lyme, Connecticut, Allegra Zamor, Medill Reports.
While universities are faced with some harsh realities as a result of the economic damage presented by COVID-19, in Colorado we found one business that's doing surprisingly well despite the state's stay-at-home order.
I'm Jennifer Lee reporting from Greenwich, Connecticut. While many food and beverage establishments are seeing less foot traffic or struggling to stay afloat, like this one restaurant behind me on Greenwich Avenue, one shop in Colorado did the unthinkable and actually opened its doors for business during the heart of the pandemic.
Now open, Ziggy's Coffee, but you can't go inside. The Colorado shop, which opened for the very first time during stay-at-home orders, can barely keep up with demand.
And we provided that safe environment for them with our drive-thrus. So with that, we went ahead and said, let's get this store in Castle Pines open and see how it goes. And we set a new record for the company every single day for 4 straight days.
Staff members wear masks and gloves and keep their distance from customers.
And then as far as training, we did have to adjust our training schedule. Normally we'd have a group of 15 in there. We had to break that out into smaller groups. We had to keep spacing and wear masks, which is hard to hear, but that's kind of the world that we live in at the moment.
With competition like Starbucks closed because of COVID, this created an advantage for Ziggy's as they were the only game in this town.
Honestly, all we needed was this little competitive edge for people to try it. Some people get in a routine with the other large brands and they won't try the smaller brand.
We have this great small business, and it's going to, it's a place that it's an essential business. It gives people not only a place for our residents, our tight-knit community to go and kind of get a little break from cabin fever, but it gets people to work.
The most recent Department of Labor report shows Colorado accounted for the largest increase at nearly 60,000 unemployment claims in mid-April. And with a huge spike in unemployment numbers everywhere, people working and businesses thriving during a pandemic is welcome news in any community.
Sometimes when we're really busy, we will actually go out in line and take the order with masks. But the muffled sound is the pandemic era of ordering.
The Colorado Governor's Office continues to issue guidance phasing in the reopening of the economy. In Douglas County, where Ziggy's is located, personal and retail services can reopen on May 1st if implementing best practices. In Greenwich, Connecticut, I'm Jennifer Lee, Medill Reports.
In our next story, we go to Detroit, Michigan to learn what the experts are saying about COVID-19 and the effect it's having on people's mental health.
Springtime is the season when suicide rates tend to spike. Now with COVID and the resulting stay-at-home mandate, those numbers could rise even more. I'm Brianna Richardson reporting from Detroit, Michigan. I spoke with experts to see if there's a growing concern in our area. The worry that the coronavirus crisis could lead to an increase in suicides comes straight from the White House.
You're going to have mental depression for people. You're going to have large numbers of suicides.
As people struggle with the threat of coronavirus, coupled with the stay-at-home order and economic uncertainty, it all takes a toll on our mental health. Locally, some therapists have been
extremely busy, and I see tremendous stress in those families surrounding anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. So yes, being quarantined, dealing with this pandemic is affecting individuals who may have suicidal thought, may not have a plan, but are absolutely worried about their future, the future of their families. I work from 10 to 8 p.m. on a daily basis, and I am back to back.
But for those who may not have access to traditional counseling services or emotional support, Michigan has launched free mental health resources.
Our state has started the Michigan Peer Warm Line. It's staffed by peer support specialists, just someone to talk to receive messages of recovery and hope.
For Michigan residents who are searching for help from home, the state's Department of Health and Human Services launched a site with relaxation exercises and meditation tips for kids.
Straight to the latest on the coronavirus.
Experts say to relax, watch less news on TV, connect online with others, exercise regularly, and eat healthy food. While suicides may not be more frequent, calls for help have increased. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can be reached at 800-273-8255 or online at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. In Detroit, Michigan, Brianna Richardson, Medill Reports.
Coming up, join us as we take you along for a road trip across U.S. highways. And in baseball, can it be that we'll see an MLB season? We talk to the players to find out.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. Western University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back. In sports, it appears as if Major League Baseball is moving forward with plans to begin its season without fans. But how do the players feel about all of this? We went to Arizona to find out.
I'm Kelly Cannon, reporting in Mesa, Arizona, where stadiums are closed, but a deal may be in the works to kickstart the 2020 Major League Baseball season. Some officials say players could be brought to Arizona to start spring training as early as May. Baseball would be the first major sport to return amid the pandemic. The president has been eager to reopen the country, specifically in regard to sports.
But we have to get our sports back. I'm tired of watching baseball games that are 14 years old.
But are players ready to take the risks that may come along with restarting the game amid the coronavirus? New reports suggest we could see players back on the diamond as early as June or July.
It can impact young people as well. So I think that some of the fear that is, in a lot of our heads is that if one of us gets it in, a clubhouse, then what happens? Do we just get sent back home again? So there's a lot of anxiety that comes with that, and just, the unknown.
Restarting baseball also presents a curveball for the minor league. Matt Pare, a former minor leaguer and co-founder of Advocates for Minor Leaguers, raised concerns.
If Major League season starts and minor league baseball is behind, well, say a player gets hurt, now the minor league players aren't ready at the same level as the major leaguers. Where's your feeder league?
Despite the challenges in balancing public health guidelines with restarting America's national pastime, players are eager to return to the game they love.
Baseball is a huge part of just, the United States, America, just what kind of gets us going, and it'll help the economy. And as players, that's a pretty significant thing to be able to do, and to be able to look at it in a way where, all right, we can go out there, we can suck it up, we can go play in front of empty stadiums. If it's going to lift people's spirits and it's going to help, to bring the United States back to where it was, and the world back to where it was, as small as that might be, I think the vast majority of guys would be willing to do it and wanting to do it.
No matter where the first pitch is thrown for the 2020 Major League Baseball season, it is sure to be a season like no other. While a lot of changes are needed to ensure the game is kept safe for players and staff, some fans are saying a season is still a season. Play ball. In Mesa, Arizona, Kelly Cannon, Medill Reports.
Well, it seems as if the pros may get their chance to play, but others may not be as lucky. Imagine having the season of your dreams come to an abrupt end as a result of the coronavirus. A college basketball player shares his story.
I'm Evan Brooks reporting in Bowie, Maryland. For the Charlotte 49ers, a chance at the big dance was cut short due to COVID-19, as freshman sensation Jameer Young had his team in prime position to make a run. As the 49ers got set to play in their conference tournament, they learned that their season would be canceled.
We had a bye for our first game, so Wednesday we went to go see the team we was potentially playing against. We saw them play. Then the next morning, we was going to shoot around, preparing for the game. And then that's when we got the news.
Already in Frisco, Texas, it was a tough pill to swallow for the freshman point guard and his family.
Just stopping the momentum we had as a team, as a whole, and individually, I feel like we had a good chance of winning the tournament. So it was very disappointing for where we was at.
When it ended abruptly for him, I was sad because I thought that, I know that he really wanted to play in the Conference USA tournament, and he was looking forward to it, and I thought that he was going to do really well. So I was sad for him.
Despite the canceled season, Young went on to earn multiple honors, but none bigger than being named Freshman All-American.
It was actually home. It came after we came home from the tournament, after it canceled. And actually my mom told me. I seen it on Twitter for the first time. So my mom told me. So yeah, that's when I saw it.
It's part of the bright future that Jameer has, but the team's success when basketball eventually returns is what matters most.
I wouldn't be able to accomplish that achievement if it wasn't for my team. They put me in the right spots. They encouraged me. They believe in me. So it's big.
The 49ers finished with their first winning season in 5 years. And with the continued growth of Jameer and his teammates, the ensuing seasons certainly look promising. In Bowie, for Medill Reports, I'm Evan Brooks.
With most athletes stuck at home, gym owners have to find a way to keep their businesses moving forward. Here's what one gym owner in Connecticut is doing to bring personal training to people's living rooms.
This is how many of us are fighting off the quarantine 15, through at-home workouts.
I'm Dave Peck here in Old Lyme, Connecticut, where this week we took a look at how a local personal trainer has adapted his workouts from on-site to online.
Next is the overhead press.
Since early September, Besetto Performance Training has been a growing name in southeastern Connecticut.
I started with 2 to 3 people, and then one kid told another kid, we told another kid. We had this huge flood. I was like, this is awesome, business is booming. And then it was just, okay, it's time to shut stuff down.
With stay-at-home orders in place, the industry took on a whole new direction.
You had the people you had to put on hold or give their money back for that month. It went from being great to, damn, this stinks.
But Besetto has made the proper adjustments.
We'll do Zoom calls. We do a lot of Facebook Live. Good morning, members of G's Fitness. So people will text us. We'll shoot them a workout for the day.
Workouts that have helped college athletes find an edge while in quarantine, like Springfield Baseball's Caden Maynard.
With this whole quarantine thing going on, a lot of people aren't going to be doing anything. And as an athlete, especially like a freshman, you know, you want more, you want to contribute more to the team, you want to get better. So it's like if you're working out and you're staying active and you're doing what you can, you're doing that step that a lot of people aren't.
But even through the camera, Besetto continues to motivate.
He's intense, so he brings energy to the workouts. You know, like he's always watching, he's always pushing you.
And his workouts are built for more than just the college athlete. While Maynard may be using the traditional dumbbell for his curls, some of Besetto's other clients have gone to the soup can to get their workouts in.
The people who aren't paying, every day we do give them a workout. It's going to be a general one. It's not going to be a specific one, but they have something.
Besetto fully expects that once things get back to normal, people will be itching to return to the gym. From Old Lyme, Connecticut, Dave Peck, Medill Reports. After the break, we'll take you along for a road trip across the country and learn how one Chicago pizzeria owner is showing his appreciation for heroes across the city.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back. Across the country, Americans are looking to contribute in any way they can in the fight against coronavirus. Here's what one Chicago pizzeria owner is doing to put smiles on the faces of health workers.
Thanks. A word that people around the world are telling medical workers. And here in Chicago, a local Wrigleyville pizzeria is helping send that message directly to the workers. Owner of Big G's Pizza in Wrigleyville, Jamie Gomez, says he's always been about the community, and finding a way to give back during the pandemic was something he knew he had to do.
How can we keep the doors open for business? If I'm trying to help out my staff, but I'm also trying to help the restaurant, how can I help my friends who are healthcare workers? Because I care a lot about them as well. You know, I was thinking about how they're putting their lives at risk every day.
And with the help of social media, Jamie was able to collect donations from the community. And after delivering so many pizzas, he says the number has gotten impressive.
So we've donated 1,180 pizzas to 38 different hospitals and clinics in Chicago.
Jamie says the way the community has supported hospitals through his campaign has been beyond his belief.
They were calling into the restaurant, trying to see how they could donate, mailing in checks via mail. And that's what really helped the campaign just kind of take off and have a level of success that I was hoping for.
You know, it keeps you going. So anytime there's food in the break room, any day of the week, COVID or not, it really, sometimes just whatever you can grab is the food that you get. You don't have time to sit down for a full break. So having food delivered is always helpful.
And Gomez says that's exactly what he was hoping his pizzas would do.
So knowing that we were contributing, even if it's just pizza, we're not saving lives, but to be able to lift people's spirits who are feeling really overwhelmed and really tired, and to just, there's one less thing they have to worry about. What am I having for lunch? What am I having for dinner?
And Gragone says that these small contributions show exactly what Chicago's all about.
I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but it really means a lot because we're here to make sure that the city stays safe, and we want to keep ourselves safe as well. But it means the world to us to know that people are at home and they're thinking of us.
For more information on how you can help donate, you can head over to Big G's Instagram at Big G's Pizza. In downtown Chicago, I'm Michael Thomas, Medill Reports.
Residents of most states are under strict shelter-in-place orders. But what happens if you have to take an essential road trip across the country? Up next, we take you along for the journey.
I'm Simone Blair, reporting from my garage. The coronavirus pandemic has changed many things about our daily lives, including travel. While packing a bag and hopping in the car are still good to go, almost every other thing about the American road trip is out of the ordinary.
Statewide order. Stay at home. Essential trips only. That's the message to anyone driving on a U.S. highway, day or night. For truckers who are considered essential travelers and anyone who must drive, there are a few rules to follow.
Prior to getting on the road, you want to make sure that you understand the COVID-19 impacts in the city of where you're going, whether they have a stay-at-home policy in place.
Rest areas are different these days. Yes, restrooms are available. Yes, you can get out and walk the dogs. No, you can't sit down and rest inside. And no, you can't drink from the water fountain. In Kentucky, the Transportation Cabinet made it clear in a tweet. Rest areas are open, but no staff is working inside. One silver lining is gas prices. The national average is $1.77 per gallon. That's $1.11 less than last year. No one knows how long this will last.
We are looking forward to a resurgence in both. Initially, we think domestic travel before out of the country travel, but all of this will depend on the situation of COVID-19.
While we may not know how long we'll have these cheap gas prices and low traffic, we can continue hoping we'll get from point A to point B safely. In Fort Myers, Florida, Simone Blair, Medill Reports.
Thank you so much for watching this special edition of Northwestern News Report. Join us next week as we'll have more stories from across the country. Until next time, I'm Yousef Nasser. Thanks for watching.